Hello! Happy Pride 2020! Today I've decided to make a gay BLT. Basically, I was inspired by a post where somebody said I thought LGBT was a sandwich, and somebody replied with lettuce, glitter, bacon, tomato. And as well as a campaign from I can't remember where, but a couple years back, some sandwich shop or something made an LGBT sandwich in which they used guacamole for the G, and I thought it would be fun to replicate that. On top of it, I am going to be talking a little bit about the flag's histories. Basically, it's going to be a Sparks Notes version of that, and I'm completely skipping over a lot of context, and I'm skipping over community history. It's going to be very, very basic, but I think it'll be interesting nonetheless to get a little Sparks Notes version of where the flags come from and who created them, when they were created, and specifically what the stripes mean and the colors mean. So I don't know, I just think that would be really fun, and yeah, that's it. Let's go. B is for bacon and also bisexual. Let's start with some symbols in bisexual history that acted as a precursor to the bisexual flag. A pretty common one is the biangles, whose origins are unknown. This is somewhat controversial, however, because of the ties to the pink triangle being used to identify gay men in Nazi Germany, so a lot of people use the crescent moons instead. You might have also seen these three symbols, but to be honest, they're not that common. The official bisexual flag was unveiled by Michael Page in 1998 and was inspired by the biangles and created to raise awareness for bisexuality and to combat bi-invisibility. From a post by Michael in 2001 on his site biflag.com, he describes it as the following. The pink color represents sexual attraction to the same sex only, gay and lesbian. The blue represents sexual attraction to the opposite sex only, straight, and the resultant overlap color purple represents sexual attraction to both sexes, bi. He further elaborates by adding, the key to understanding the symbolism in the bi-pride flag is to know that the purple pixels of color blend unnoticeably into both the pink and blue, just as in the real world, where bi people blend unnoticeably into both the gay/lesbian and straight communities. Warning! This part is probably going to ruffle some feathers, but I want to note that while he uses somewhat binary terminology in his explanation, bisexuality is not exclusionary to trans and non-binary individuals. To say that bi is equal to 2 or is exclusionary in any way is ahistorical, biphobic, and, to put it simply, a massive fuck you to trans and non-binary bisexuals. I'm thinking of making a separate video about this, but the TLDR is that if you look at actual bisexual history and activism before and after the flag's creation, bisexuality has and always will be about rejecting the binary and emphasizing love between people rather than reinforcing binary ideas about gender and relationships. I will note that technically bi does mean 2, in the sense that there are only 2 perceived sexes. By that I mean that 99% of the time you can't tell if someone is cis or trans or non-binary or intersex, etc., because humans don't have X-ray vision or mind-reading abilities. Therefore, people look like they're either in a gay or straight relationship, hence the last part of Michael's explanation. Obviously, it's way more complicated than that, but we don't have time for that right now. I've put some quotes from bisexual literature and activists describing bisexuality, and I highly encourage you to pause and read them. L is for lettuce and also lesbian. There have been a lot of symbols associated with lesbians in human history, considering there have been extensive depictions of homosexuality, including lesbianism, dating way back to the earliest pieces of art and poetry. But more importantly, for the purposes of this video, a lot of flag variations, especially in the late 2010s. In modern history, lesbians have been represented by the interlocked female symbols, often printed onto the rainbow flag. During Nazi Germany, lesbians, as well as other quote-unquote anti-socials, were branded with the black triangle, which has since been reclaimed. There is also the labrys, which can be traced back to feminists in the 70s, that symbolizes strength and women's self-sufficiency, which brings us to the next part. In 1999, a gay man in the leather scene called Sean Campbell made a number of flags for various subcultures, including the purple Labrys flag. While the flag was published in a newspaper called the Gay and Lesbian Times in 2000, it wasn't widely spread. In July 2010, the lipstick lesbian flag was posted by a woman named Natalie McCrae on her This Lesbian Life WordPress. In December 2013, a Tumblr blog by the name of Transwife posted a flag compilation with a version that edited out the lipstick mark. This was widely used until people started questioning it in 2017 and slowly posting other designs, but it was only a year later that it took a big hit in popularity. In 2018, the flag and its creator were cancelled. There were a couple reasons why this happened, like realizing the flag was just a bunch of shades of pink with no meaning, and it alienated butch and gender nonconforming lesbians. Some nasty stuff surfaced about the creator too, where she degraded bisexual women, butches, anorexics, and Asian women. It was an ugly situation overall, and lesbians didn't want that association. This led to what I personally call the July 2018 FLAGSPLOSION. A Tumblr user named Official Lesbian Flag decided to create a massive survey and open the floodgates basically, and tons of submissions were made. And when I say open the floodgates for flag designs, I mean... Towards the latter half of 2018, after a poll with over 3,000 responses, the 7-stripe orange and pink flag by Sad Lesbian Disaster won. Soon after, it was simplified by Tackwoman from 7 stripes to 5 and slightly altered the meanings. This 5-stripe version is by many considered to be the final version, though you'll see the 7-stripe floating around the internet quite frequently. The 5 stripes version has the benefit of being easy to produce for merchant art. In terms of meanings, unlike the lipstick flag, each stripe is highly significant. The first stripe means transgressive womanhood, followed by community, gender nonconformity, freedom, and love. T is for tomato and also transgender. Trans people have one main symbol dedicated to them, that being a circle that combines the female, male, and gender-neutral symbols. The 5-stripe blue, pink, and white flag was created by a trans woman named Monica Helms in 1999, and first flown during the Phoenix, Arizona Pride Parade in 2000. Monica donated the original flag to the Smithsonian National Museum of American History in 2014 to preserve it. Monica Helms described the meaning of the flag as such. The stripes at the top and bottom are light blue, the traditional color for baby boys. The stripes next to them are pink, the traditional color for baby girls. The stripe in the middle is white for those who are transitioning or consider themselves having a neutral or undefined gender. The pattern is such that no matter which way you fly it, it is always correct, signifying us finding correctness in our lives. G is for guacamole and also gay. Gay men have a few symbols to represent them, one of which is the interlocking male signs. For my much darker chapter in the heavy book we call History, the pink triangle was used in Nazi Germany to identify gay men. The rainbow flag, unlike the other flag, represents both gay men and the LGBT community in general. Before doing an overview of the rainbow flag, I want to note that there has been an interest on Tumblr to create a flag dedicated specifically to gay men, just like there is now a flag specific to lesbians. It's harder to pin down all the potential iterations of the flag because this idea only started to pick up last year. The most popular flag, as far as I can tell, is a flag by a guy named Triton, who operates the Tumblr page Gay Flag blog. There have been a ton of iterations of this flag, and things are still underway. It's an ongoing process, and no consensus has been reached. However, the most popular that I've seen so far, and the ones that he is advocating for, are the 7-stripe and 5-stripe variant. I've put up on the screen the meanings for the 7-stripe variant. Again, there's no consensus that has been reached, still an ongoing process. I highly recommend that you check out his blog. While nothing is official, I still thought that I would help raise awareness for it because I think this is a really good initiative. G is for glitter and also gay. Because the rainbow flag and the word gay are often synonymous with the LGBT community as a whole, I felt like making it glitter would be very fitting. Gilbert Baker unveiled the first gay flag on June 25, 1978 during the San Francisco Gay Freedom Day Parade, which had 8 stripes. The meanings are as follows: sex, life, healing, sunlight, nature, magic/art, serenity, and spirit. The gay flag was meant to be a more positive representation for gay men and LGBT people, to move away from the pink triangle symbol. Due to inability to produce the hot pink in large quantities, it was cut. During the 1979 San Francisco parade, organizers wanted to split the flag in 2 to decorate the parade route, so they combined the turquoise and dark blue into a royal blue, making the 6-stripe rainbow flag we know today. Quick fun fact, according to the MoMA, the gay flag is as recognizable as the recycling and @ symbol, which I think is pretty neat. During the AIDS crisis, there was a version called the Victory Over AIDS flag, which has a black stripe that was sewn onto the rainbow flag and was meant to memorialize people who died of AIDS. The idea was to keep the black stripe until there was a cure. Sergeant Leonard Matlovich, a Vietnam veteran who eventually died of AIDS, even recommended burning the flags in Washington, D.C. when the crisis was over. There is a controversial black and brown flag revealed by the city of Philadelphia in 2017. I, and many people critical of the design, think it excludes people of color who aren't brown, like East Asians, and is distasteful that they ignored and appropriated the black stripe's connection to AIDS. In my opinion, it also seems kind of fishy because Gilbert Baker died 3 months before that flag was revealed and wasn't consulted on the design. I agree that we should raise Black and brown LGBT voices, but I think there are way more impactful ways to do this, like representation in the media and creating platforms for voices to be heard. Unless you include every skin tone, it just seems divisive to me because the rainbow flag already encompasses everyone. P.S. I have to say this, the flag is ugly, okay? It just, color-wise, it doesn't look good. But if you really want to raise awareness for diversity in the community, which we absolutely should considering how often non-white narratives are erased, consider using this next flag instead. The last flag design is Gilbert Baker's 9-stripe flag, which was made in 2017 just before his death, and builds off of his original 1979 8-stripe design. The top stripe's meaning is diversity, as Gilbert felt the need to include the fact that the LGBT community is highly diverse. This flag was created in direct response to Trump being elected, as Gilbert felt he was a divisive figure and wanted to reaffirm that LGBT people come from many walks of life, but are united nonetheless. Unfortunately, not a lot of people know about this flag, and I hope this video raises some awareness for it. So yeah, that is my absolutely epic LGBT. I'm very excited to eat this. And yeah. So remember, this was a very, very simple history of it. I glossed over a lot of context and background, blah, 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 blah. This was just about the flags, and again, the Sparks Notes version of it. And happy Pride 2020. Peace. Oh god, it's so messy. You know when, like, your mom is, you know when people are coming over and your mom is like, oh my god, clean the everything so that it looks like nobody lives here. Yeah, I did that before starting, and now I've fucking exposed myself.